Hi everybody, in today's video I'm going to talk about how we can still take some really nice photos even out of those kind of typical landscape photography hours. So I'm talking about after sunrise and obviously well before sunset. So I've come to a location here which gives me a nice opportunity to take those kind of photos, and the weather is pretty changeable. It's pretty windy, which means the sun is coming in and out, which again just helps with this type of photography. I found quite a nice shot that I'm working on, which really makes the most of the conditions. So you can see that we do have some blue sky and clouds, and there's a nice tree which is just behind me there, which is catching the sunlight, and you've got the grasses in front of it as well. So I'm just working on the composition here. What I want to do is try and get that tree singled out. There are trees behind it, but and of course there's no fog or anything to separate, so it's just a question of looking for that balance between making sure the tree is dominant, making sure the trees in the back don't really interfere with the shot. And I'm going to mess around with the angle as well for the grasses, take it with the tripod slightly higher up, slightly lower down, maybe get the grasses more in focus, just a case of experimenting. So the other thing I'm doing with this shot is exposure bracketing. Now, I do it a little bit differently. I know there is a feature on the camera where you can automatically do this, but what I prefer to do is exposure bracket just manually. So I'm just normally taking 2 shots, and it's easy to do. I mean, I shoot in aperture mode, so all I do is expose using the plus minus exposure control on the camera, and expose for, in this instance, the tree. And then all I do, take the shot, and then using the plus minus, I then expose differently for the sky. And then I have my 2 shots that I can then blend in Lightroom, and it gives me a much better shot. I just find it easier to do it this way. So I've actually come back to this location on another day. Now today the weather is completely different. It's pretty much clear blue sky. So I'm going to show you 2 photos now. The first photo I took on Saturday, and with that shot, both of which, by the way, I completely eliminated the sky, and for 2 separate reasons really. So the first shot I'm going to show you, which was from Saturday, I waited for the sun to go behind the cloud and took the shot then, and eliminated the sky because the sky was adding 0 to the shot. And in fact, there was no real proper defined clouds. The second shot I'm going to show you is from today, slightly earlier in the day. In fact, I've had my polarizer filter on for this shot. And this one is with the sun fully out. And you'll see that there are some really strong shadows here. And I'll point out some of the other issues with shooting that type of shot when the sun is fully out. It's quite a breezy day, and it's come over a little bit cloudy at the moment, which is obviously not what I'm wanting, but because it's breezy, the sun's going to be in and out. So it's really a case of taking advantage of those conditions. Rather than rushing around trying to look for different compositions, I find a composition and then wait for the weather to change and take advantage of the light coming out. And then what I'm looking to do is take advantage of any shadows that are being formed, and there'll be light that's hitting certain parts of the landscape, and there'll be parts of the landscape where the light's not hitting, and then using those conditions to help improve the photos that we're going to get today. I mean, to be honest, there's going to be nothing award-winning today, that's for sure. But as you know, photography is not always about portfolio shots, but it's just making the best of the conditions that we have. I may put my polarizing filter on at some point as well. he says rather optimistically. It depends what happens with the weather. So one of the benefits of where I've come today is there's quite a few birds of prey around, and you can see them hovering, obviously looking for something to eat. And I've got my 24-200 on. So obviously I'm not going to be able to get anything that's close up. But what I will try and do though, particularly if the sky is doing something kind of interesting, is zoom all the way out to 200, or into 200 I should say, and just look for something that's kind of silhouetting against the sky. I think that might be quite a nice shot to take. Yeah, I've spoken before on this channel about debating whether to get the 150 to 500 Tamron, and when I see the birds hovering above, it does kind of make me think that I should. But hey, sometimes you just have to use the camera that you've got, the lenses that you've got, and make the best of those elements. So I've just walked a bit further down, and the tree that you can see over my shoulder here is the one that I showed you right at the beginning of the video. Now I'm on my way to a different location along this kind of pretty busy road, to be honest, for a country road. And it's enabled me to get a better composition because I can eliminate the background. I mean, this is the one good thing about coming out this time of the year. You have so much more time, and you can also use it as scouting. I've looked at photo pills, and I can also see that this location would be great for both sunrise and sunset photography. So I'm definitely going to come back for that. Anyway, here's the different version of this photo. So there's some pretty moody clouds behind me, and what I'm looking at here is trying to get one of these lone trees. Now, unfortunately in this area there's a lot of dead pine trees, but they do sometimes make quite a nice composition, particularly when you've got these kind of moody conditions. So let me just show you on the screen what I'm looking at. So you can see that there's the tree here, which I'm really going to zoom in on, and then you've got the really moody clouds above as well. So again, it's just a case of messing around with this. It may be that it works better as a black and white, perhaps, but I certainly think possibly a silhouette is going to have the most impact here. So really just exposing for the sky rather than for the foreground. I may try and exposure bracket again, possibly using the same method that I spoke about before, but really I'm going to try both, I think, and then when I get back into Lightroom, I can take a look and see which one I prefer. So despite coming out at a time of the day that I don't normally come out for landscape photography, to be honest, I think I have some really nice photos. So I would definitely recommend that you just kind of experiment with different times of the day and just look for shots that match that. As always, thank you for watching and see you next time.